Hey guys, Caroline here. This is the second video in my series on matched betting in 2020. And in this one, I'm going to be going into more detail about exactly what matched betting is. So if you think about bookmakers, matched betting is all about the bookmakers, and there's many of them. In the UK, there are dozens and dozens. You've probably heard of, prominent ones like William Hill, Sky, Coral, Ladbrokes, Betfred, and so on. A lot of these are high street bookmakers, but there's many more which are just online. Now, because there's so many bookmakers, and especially these days that they are all online, they are desperate to attract new customers, because generally speaking, most punters will kind of pick a particular bookmaker that they like and then they'll stick with them. So they all want your business, and they particularly want new customers. So nearly all bookmakers have something called a welcome offer, and I'm going to give you an example of that in a moment. Now, generally speaking, the welcome offer is going to ask you to place some kind of bet with them initially, and then they're going to give you a reward, such as a free bet. So ordinarily, if they say something like, bet £10 on some sport, football match or horse race, for example, you are risking £10 of your money. But with matched betting, you don't risk that £10. There is something called an exchange, which has the facility to allow you to do something called laying of a bet. Now, if you don't know what that means, it doesn't matter. I'm going to explain those concepts in more detail in another video. In this one, I'm just going to kind of give you a rough overview and show you an example. But basically, these exchanges allow us to do something called laying a bet, which creates two bets on one single event: a back bet that places at the bookmaker and a lay bet which goes at the exchange, and those two bets match up, which is where the name comes from, matched betting. And what they basically do is they cancel each other out in a way that eliminates the risk. So instead of risking, say, £10 of your money to do this welcome offer, you might only be risking 50p. And in actual fact, it's not a risk at all, because that profit is actually locked in. Now, in that case, it's a loss. But what happens is, when you place that bet with the bookmaker, you then get some reward from them. So very often it's a free bet. So they might give you another £10 as a free bet. So then you can bet this £10. So ordinarily, you could place that £10 bet on something and then you just hope it wins. So as an ordinary punter, you might bet your £10 on something, lose it. They might give you a free bet, which you bet on something else, and that might lose as well. So you're out £10 and you've got nothing. With matched betting, it's a very different scenario, because what happens is you have your initial £10 bet, which you eliminate the risk, bring it right down, and maybe you'll lose 50p. Then they give you a free bet, and we can use this same process of laying a bet to lock in a profit. You might get £7.50, for example, profit from that, and that is locked in. You've lost 50p here, you've gained £7.50 there. Overall, you've made a profit of £7, and that £7 is locked in before the event even starts. So if it's for a football match, for example, it doesn't matter if they draw, if somebody wins, doesn't matter at all. You have got £7 profit guaranteed. So it is exploiting the offers where the profit lies. So it relies on bookmaker offers. Now, if this sounds complicated, don't worry, because there are lots of online tools and calculators that do the hard work for you. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go onto one of these tools and actually show you how this works, show you the numbers. Okay, so first of all, let me show you a couple of welcome offers from popular bookmakers. So this is Coral here. This is a particularly lucrative one. They only ask you to bet £5 of your own money, and they will give you £20 back in free bets. There's not many which are that generous. William Hill here is another one, also pretty generous. They ask you to put a £10 bet on, and then they are going to give you two £15 free bets afterwards. So let me show you exactly how this works. First of all, I'm going to show you what an exchange looks like. So this is Betfair. Today is currently the 26th of May. So we're in the coronavirus pandemic. So there's not all that much sports on, but the Bundesliga has come back. So this is a match which is being played later on today, Dortmund versus Bayern. And one thing I want you to look at here is these boxes. We've got a blue boxes and pink boxes. The blue ones say back, and the pink ones say lay. And if we have a look over here at another exchange, this is something called Smarkets. It does exactly the same thing. It's just, you know, there's several companies that offer it, and it's the same thing. We've got Dortmund, Bayern here. Colors are different, but it's the same thing. This side is what's called a back bet, and this side is what's called a lay bet. Now, again, I don't expect you to understand what that means right now. I'm going to explain that in a later video, but I just want to show you the numbers of how this actually works. So this is a toolkit here called OddsMonkey. And this is a paid tool which I pay £18 a month for, and I have done since the beginning. It's not absolutely required to do match betting, but it will save you a lot of time. So they have a number of tools on here, including something called a calculator and something called an odds matcher, which is what I use most of the time. So let me show you this odds matcher tool here. What it does is, what you're looking for when you're placing these bets is you want to have something where the price which is offered at the bookmaker is not too much different to the price which is available at the exchange. And again, don't worry if you don't understand this right now. I'm just going to show you how it works and explain it all in another video. So I've got a sort of a preset like a template set up here called a trigger bet. The trigger bet is known as the bet which is used to trigger off the reward. So let's say we were doing this William Hill here. Okay, so I'll come over to OddsMonkey and I'm going to pick the bookmaker. So this is all the bookmakers which they support. There are lots, and they don't always have offers all of the time, especially not right now, but they support an awful lot of bookmakers. So I'm going to select William Hill, and it's going to search the database of what events are on at the moment. Now, if we have a look here, if you have a look at the icons, we can say we've got some horse races. Now, for the moment, horse racing has not returned in the UK. That is due back next week. So I'm going to focus on football. And again, I rather like these Bundesliga games. So if we have a look here, Frankfurt versus Freiburg. And I'm going to bring up this little button here, which is going to bring up a calculator. Now, as you can see, this is already pre-filled with £10 here. That's because that's just what I put in last time. Now, don't try to understand the extreme. What I want you to see is this. Your profit will be minus 27p. You would go to William Hill and you'd place a back bet at odds of 3.6. This is on the draw for this particular football match. Now, you could go to the exchange Smarkets and place a lay bet, but in actual fact you don't need to, because with this tool all you do is click that button and it does it all for you. So once you've done that, you're going to lose 27p regardless of what happens in the match. So if we have a look down the bottom here, it says if the bookmaker back bet wins, in other words, if the draw actually happens, what would happen is you would win £26 in the bookmaker, but at the exchange you would lose £26.27. The result means you've lost 27p. But it could be the other way around. Maybe Frankfurt win or Freiburg win. Doesn't matter. If that happens, you would lose your £10 at the bookmaker, but at the exchange you have won £9.73. The result is the same, a loss of 27p. So you're probably thinking, well, that's great, I've just lost 27p. But now come back to this. We've gained two £15 free bets. Now I'm going to change my filter a little bit, and I'm going to click on I have one here, free bets. So again, I will explain all of these things later on. I just want to give you a simple example at the moment. William Hill is coming up with nothing. That's not helpful. Okay. Oh, I think that's because I had it pre-selected for, yes, I did, sorry. I had that set to another bookmaker that I was using at another time. Now, right now, as we do this, some of the bookmaker prices aren't as good as they usually are because there isn't as much selection. You might not get as much money from free bets as you would do another time. But let me just have a look here. So, for example, let's say we placed your free bet on this match, Leipzig and Hertha Berlin. So now I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to click this little radio button over here which says free bets. Now, William Hill going to give us £15, but let's just leave it as 10, just as an example. If you see here, your profit will be £8.33. And again, you can see how that works, whether it wins at the bookmaker or whether it wins at the exchange. Either way, have a look at this. If it's the bookmaker backbet wins, you're in profit of £8.36. If it's the other way around, you're in profit of £8.33. So you're guaranteed £8.33. Now you take off the 27p that you just lost, you've got a guaranteed profit of £8. Now that, in essence, is matched betting. Obviously, I've got a lot more to say about this. I'm going to have other videos where I explain what is a back bet, what is a lay bet, how do these numbers work, how do we find the matches, how do we know what to bet on. And you're probably thinking at the moment, is this real, is this a scam, is this legit? So I've got a few more videos of kind of theory before I go into the more technical side. Okay, but I hope this has given you a taste of what you have in store. And just as an idea, there is quite a lot of money to be made. One of the other videos I'll be doing very shortly is how much money can you actually make. Okay, so I hope you found this useful and not too confusing, and thank you very much for watching.